And they had so much trouble agreeing on anything. But you know, remember, they agreed on one thing. You remember what that was? They agreed that they would never agree.
Oh, that's very... Still today they say that اتفق العرب على أن لا يتفقوا.
Yeah.
They agree to disagree.
They agreed to disagree. Well, you know, this is something that is in the Arab culture, but also, you know, the Arab culture and the Muslim culture have become so close. They're not the same, but they're so close that, you know, it's hard to separate.
But it is so hard. I'm trying to put my finger in an Islamic system that there is no conflict in it.
Right. Show us one.
So,
I mean,
we have...
Even Saudi Arabia, you know, back in, was it 94? There was a lot of unrest. Maybe they thought
still
there might be
today, there is a lot of unrest. There is a lot of police and army activities going on, especially in the border between Saudi Arabia and Yemen and all of these fights. And
what about Jordan? Is maybe Jordan the best example?
Jordan is a very secure country because of the system that they followed. It's a kingdom system, from one king to the other. And obviously the king Hussein, he was raised in England himself. He was taught outside. He knew the world view for things. That so his successor, the same story. So, but what I'm trying to say here, we are seeing all of these kind of violences. Either against themselves or against a foreigner power. Okay, and it's happening in front of our eyes in the United States of America. And we think when Islam controls a country, it will be peaceful and quiet and security, and everybody will be minding his own business, and no bombs anymore, nobody will be hanged, nobody will be killed. I mean, I'm just, these questions are going in my mind because I'm trying to find where is, when I hear this is not Islam. So show me one.
Sharia law is the answer. They hold up signs. Sharia law is the answer.
So show me one in the Islamic country that it was the answer, and the country is safe and secure and really takes care about its people and provide jobs and education and stability, and the economic is very good. It is, I don't know.
If that was the case, then why do they leave all of those countries and come to the United States of America?
And try to destroy it again.
Try to destroy the country that is giving them that which they seek, so that it will no longer be able to give them the freedom and the opportunity that they now enjoy and use in order to kill it.
And let's enjoy dying together.
Well, it's just, you know, I just can't comprehend it. Maybe some of our Muslim callers will help us. But we have a lot more calls. You know, I think I want to take one more article before we open the lines here at ABN News and Views 248-416-1300. But I want to share this one more article, and then with God's help, we'll get to many more of the important news items, especially some prayer points for Christians around the world today being persecuted, as we mentioned, in Somalia and other places. Here's something very interesting. You know about the book Muslim Mafia? That's talking about CARE, Council of American Islamic Relations. It's been a real hot topic lately. I think it's the #1 seller on Amazon on Islam, actually. But here we have, interesting, one of CARE's speakers, Council of American Islamic Relations, one of their powerful, high-powered speakers that they use in conferences and everything, has been labeled by news media, secular news, as a moderate Muslim. And yet this book has opened up, this book Muslim Mafia and some other sources, has opened up that here we have a black American convert to Islam, an imam, a Muslim leader, who is saying that he thinks it's okay and it's a good idea to attack United States military planes and installations here in the United States of America. I want to share just a little bit of that before we go to the first caller. A Council of American Islamic Relations advisor and regular speaker, not just a regular speaker, but an advisor. Now, this Council of American Islamic Relations is supposed to be a non-profit group that is supposed to be basically puts on a good face for Islam. And one of the things that they've been doing is they lobby the United States government, but there's high restrictions placed on how a non-profit can lobby. And so they've really been involved in politics. And as you know, they're also involved in a lot of lawsuits all the time. Anyways, it says a Council of American Relations advisor and regular speaker at its events has suggested that Islamic law permits Muslims to attack C-130 military transport planes carrying the 82nd Airborne out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, according to the stunning new book exposing Washington-based CARE inner workings. Radical Islamic cleric Zayed Shakir, we have a picture of him. I think they'll show it in just a moment. Zayed Shakir. He is a African-American Muslim. We have a picture of him. Should come up in just a moment. A frequent guest speaker at CARE events tells his Muslim audience, jihad is physically fighting the enemies of Islam to protect and advance the religion of Islam. This is jihad. What happened to the spiritual struggle? All these Muslims call in, they tell us it's a spiritual struggle. All it is a spiritual struggle. It doesn't have anything to do with fighting. But here is a Muslim imam in the United States of America who has been selected by CARE, which is supposed to be, puts on a moderate and a kind face of Islam, saying Islam is peaceful. Not only one of their speakers, but one of their advisors who says it's okay to shoot at United States military planes in the United States, and he says that jihad is physically fighting the enemies of Islam to protect and advance the religion of Islam. This is jihad. And he says acceptable targets of jihad include United States military aircraft.
That happened.
Yeah.
Fort Hood.
Yeah, Fort Hood. And if Muslims and Americans also would remember, earlier this year, I think in February, there were several black Muslims in New York who were in jail, and I think they just got out or something. They tried to shoot down a military aircraft in New York State.
And the same plan that Nidal Hassan did in Fort Hood, it happened 3 times, 2 times before Fort Hood. One of them was in New Jersey. Pizza guy was bombs in him and trying to enter the military base to deliver. And it happened in a recruiting center. Army Center in Arkansas.
In Arkansas, that's right.
We're trying to do this.
And all of these are Muslims.
And we didn't act. It wasn't enough. Then this is Fort Hood.
And can you believe, Pastor Yusuf, what they're saying? I mean, the General of the United States Army, Muslims are laughing and just reveling in the fact that the General of the United States Army, that he says that it's a worse tragedy if we kick the Muslims out of the Army than the fact that these 13 people, 14 people died. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's what he means. If we lose the diversity that we enjoy in the United States Army. Hey, bud, they didn't have much diversity when they defeated those Barbary pirates. They didn't have much diversity when they defeated Hitler. They didn't need it. All they needed was to be on the right side. And those people believe they were on the right side. What is the right side? The right side is the side that stands for freedom. And that true freedom is not just freedom of the United States of America, but the freedom upon the freedom which we have here is based, which is the freedom we have in Jesus Christ and Him alone.
It seems to me when a general says that, he is putting diversity above the 13 people who were killed and injured.
Absolutely.
It's like you're standing beside the criminal and punishing the innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in World War I, World War II, there was no in-betweens.
No, black and white.
Victory or defeat.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, we have the in-betweens. Let's appease this, let us do this, let's be, in the name of tolerance.
Yeah, oh yeah,
just
tolerance.
We use the word tolerance.
This is the God, this is the idol of the liberals in the United States of America.
In the name of tolerance, we are destroying all kind of values that this country stood for.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
In the name of whatever, appeasing the enemy, the enemy, either you discuss with him.
Right.
An example. This is what's happening in the Israeli and Palestinian problem. Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, we're still negotiating because there is no victorious or a defeated army there.
They'll never give up.
We do. How many peace treaties we did? Where are they?
Wars, peace treaties, doesn't matter. Tell us.
One after the other, we just read them away, and now we're trying to make another one.
Yeah, sure.
Because in the laws of armies, even when you read the Bible, the Old Testament, if these are wicked people, they have to be defeated. If they are not, you keep discussing with them, it's not going to work.
Absolutely right. And in the Hamas charter,
Look, for instance, now you want Israel to negotiate with the Palestinians.
Right.
We have two governments now.
Yeah.
Government in Gaza and a government in Ramallah.
Yeah.
With whom they are going to negotiate.
Yeah.
Who owns the decision to make a decision for the Palestinian people that are entangled, the people, the poor people, the hungry people, the people that are, I mean, depending on the world to feed them today?
Well, oftentimes they're fighting. I mean, remember, Fatah and Hamas, they were fighting among themselves.
Yes. And what I'm trying to say, there is many millions of Palestinian people in between.
Yeah, yeah.
No education, no food, no employment, no this, no this. So, till what?
Yeah.
Where is the end?
Yeah. Well, you know, Hamas, everybody wanted democracy. The United States of America gave them democracy, and they put Hamas in power. Hamas came in power, and everything went chaotic.
Okay.
Once
we
again.
have two governments now, two countries.
Yeah, and everything. Nothing is better. Nothing is better. Well, let me finish this, and then we'll go to our first break here in about 6 minutes. It says that Imam Shaka, remember, this is a Muslim imam, an American now, a convert to Islam, a black American, who CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, has as an advisor and also as one of their speakers. Listen to what he says to his American congregations. Imam Shakar also gives his blessing to the use of bombs as a weapon of jihad, as long as the explosives hit select targets and are not indiscriminate in their discussion. Civilians can also be legitimate targets, he says, if there's a benefit in that. And then finally, I'll just close by saying this. Shakar advises the Muslim community in America to wage a cultural jihad now and a violent jihad later, once the proper infrastructure is in place. That's exactly what they're doing now, a cultural jihad. You remember that lady here this last week in Chicago?
Yep.
Suffered a hate crime. I tell you what, after Fort Hood, these white American Christian bigots are just attacking Muslims all over the country, dragging them in the streets. And the best thing they can come up with is someone tugged on a lady's hijab. This is the hate crime. And now, you know, our liberal Senate has put through this foolish hate crime legislation. And so the headline is, this is going to be investigated as a hate crime against Muslims.
Wow.
What do you think about Nidal Hassan's killing of 14 Americans in that army and wounding some 30 plus? Do you think that might be investigated as a hate crime? I guess he loved them, and that's why he shot them. Or maybe because he loved Allah so much and Muhammad and the Quran that it's not a hate crime, it's a love crime. But if a Christian does it, or an American, or a white American, obviously it's a hate crime. The worst thing they can come up with is a white American woman pulls on a Muslim woman's hijab. Pulls on, didn't even pull it off. Just tugged on it. That's a hate crime. Horrible thing, all over the news. Look at this hate crime. Muslims are all around the country, fear backlash.
This is the political correctness we're living today in America.
What about the backlash against Christians in Egypt or Pakistan when even a rumor of a desecration of a Quran or blasphemy of the Prophet Muhammad happens? Whole Christian villages are burned, pillaged, wiped out. And yet here, one American woman, I don't know if she's a Christian or not, tugs on a Muslim woman's hijab. Oh, look at this horrible hate. We've got to protect the Muslims in this country. Well, God forbid, with friends like that, who needs enemies, right? Let's finish up right here. Shakar, Imam Shakar advises the Muslim community in America to wage a cultural jihad now and a violent jihad later once the proper infrastructure is in place. He says Muslims should respect American democracy insofar as it can be exploited to help the Brotherhood one day assume power here. And the only thing that could stop the Islamization of America, he notes, is if people rose up and denied the subversive movement the unbridled freedom it has heretofore enjoyed. However, if Americans were to do that, Muslims would then be obligated, he says, to exercise their supposedly